Hi, today I am going to discuss with you two prepositions. They are since and for. Since and for both are prepositions. Often they are confuse us. Both since and for both are used to denote or describe time of an action. When we use since, it is describe the starting point of an action, the starting time of an action. And in other hand, when we use for, it describes total length of an action, duration of an action, the total time of an action. So let me explain about the since and for. Since, for. So when we talk about since, the since is used when we talk about an action which is started, the starting point of an action used to say since. So starting time of an action. When we talk about starting point of an action, that time we use since. But for is when we talk about the total time of an action, length of an action, duration of an action, that time we use for. Total time of an action. Total time of an action. Let me clear here by drawing a line. It is an action. The action is started here. This is the starting point of an action, the starting time of an action. When we talk about the starting time of an action, that time we use since. Let me clear you by writing some example. For example, she has been living here since 2010. Since 2010, this is the starting point of an action. Her action is started here. This is 2010. So since is used the time of an action, which the beginning time of an action. Another example, he is or he has been teaching. He has been teaching since. He has been teaching since when? 2011. His action is started here. So when we talk about the starting point of an action, starting time of an action, beginning time of an action, that time we use since. So when we use since, this means our action is begin here. Another example, they have been playing. They have been playing since morning. They have been playing since morning. Morning, evening, night, yesterday, day before yesterday. These are also mentioning the time. These also time of words of time. Before this, we should use since. Another example, Radha has been working. Radha has been working since January. Since January. Her action, working action is started since January. Means her working action began in January. That's why you will use since. So let me clear you. When we use since, that mean is our action is begin there. So all these sentences are present perfect continuous tense because the actions are started before. The actions are started in the past time and still they are continue. We are in present. We are talking about past actions. We are talking about past actions. We are now in present. We are talking about past actions. That's why we use present perfect continuous tense. Means the actions are began in the past, still they are continuing, yet they are continue. That time we use since. Now I am focused on for. When we use for is used when we are talking about total time of an action, duration of the action, length of an action. For example, an action is started here, begin here, and action is completed here, or action is going on up to here. Action started here and completed here. When we are talking about the action duration, the total time of an action from here to here or here to here. Action from starting point to now point or ending point. How many hours, how many months, how many days, how many weeks, how many years. The total time of an action, total time of what we are talking about the action, that time we use for. For example, let me clear writing some examples. He waited for bus for 2 hours. He waited for bus for 2 hours. 2 hours means he's waited from for bus here to here 2 hours. 10 to 12 o'clock. He waited for the bus from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. From here to here 2 o'clock, total 2 o'clock duration of the time. That time we use for. When we talk about total time of an action, that time we use for. Another example, she had worked in a bank. She had worked in a bank for 10 years. How many years? 10 years, the total time. She worked from here to here. Total time of an action is 10 years. So when we talk about the total time of an action, that time we use for. Another example, they have been learning. They have been learning English. They have been learning English for 5 months. For 5 months. 5 months, this is the total time of an action. Their learning action is going on, started, and total time is for 5 months. Another example, Suma lived in Bangalore. Suma lived in Bangalore for 3 years. Suma lived in Bangalore for 3 years. Total time of an action. She lived in Bangalore for 3 years. So when we talk about the total time of an action, that time we use the for. So for, when we use for, we can use any tense. It can we can use this in present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense. In future tense also we can use. When we talk about total time of an action, that time we use for. So for is used to show, denote the total time of an action. How long, duration of the time, how long time. And in other hand, since is used when we talk about the starting point of time, starting time, beginning time of an action, when it started. When we ask the question, when it started, when did it start, when we ask like these questions, the answer is come before that answer, before the starting point of an action is, we use since. So since is used to denote the starting point of an action. This is the difference between since and for. So I hope you have understood what's the difference between since and for, and I hope you can Use since and for in your sentences. Thank you very much.